You know, it was a long time ago, in 92, 93. I still have a friend who is Jewish, his background is Jewish, and he told me, coming from a Jewish background, and he told me once, Tariq, you have to do something about what is going on in the suburbs, because there is a growing, you know, sense that anti-Semitism is around. I was feeling something, but I was not really involved in this, but I started listening after what he told me. And then I started, it was in 94, much before all what we are hearing on what we heard in France during the last year. And I wrote about it, I recorded a tape on this saying this is not acceptable. Anti-Semitism is anti-Islamic, we cannot accept that. We can be critical. I am very critical towards the Israeli policy, but I don't confuse criticizing a government with being anti-Semite or accepting this. This is not acceptable. And then what we had, that's true, we had people nurturing this, their criticism against the state of Israel, and confusing this with an accepted, you know, anti-Semitic approach. And we had to say, I wrote this in Le Monde in 2001 afterward, saying this is not acceptable, we cannot accept this. We cannot accept this in Europe, we cannot accept it in the States, we cannot accept it everywhere in the Islamic majority countries. Now what we have also to say that are some intellectuals and some Jewish organizations just every time you criticize the Israeli policy, say this is anti-Semitism. We have something which is more dangerous. And I was under, you know, the controversy that you had, the reaction what you had in the States are also coming from what I was experiencing in France. When I was saying to some French intellectuals, Jewish and non-Jewish intellectuals, look, what you are doing is very dangerous, because you are saying and telling us that the new anti-Semitism is coming from the Arabs and the Muslims. So you are playing one community against another in Europe or in France, and this is not acceptable. Let us, and this was the content of my article, let us come together as citizens of the same country and say, any kind of racism, any kind of discriminations, anti-Semitism, anti-racism against Arabs, black people, any kind of racism is not acceptable. There is no hierarchy among, racisms, and we have to act against any kind of it. And this was the content, but some of our fellow citizens on that ground, they are using anti-Semitism as a tool, saying when you start criticizing Israel, it means that you are implicitly anti-Semite. And I think it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. I'm not anti-Semite when I'm criticizing the state of Israel. I'm not Islamophobic when I'm criticizing the state of Saudi Arabia. This is something that we have to see clearly. And yes, it could be, and we had this problem, that within the Muslim communities, people were starting to nurture the sense of, you know, anti-Semite discourse. We are saying no, and I think that if you go and visit now what is going on in Europe, I think that mainly it's understood. It's not perfect. We still have to work a lot because we have to change mentality, but we are working on it, and many Muslim organizations are aware of the problem.